Good afternoon, everyone. This is Dan with Senior E-Bike Nation. Welcome to another garage adventure. Hey, we're going to talk about what seniors primarily are looking for in an e-bike. Is cost your only concern? Is 20-inch bikes, 26-inch bikes, are those a couple of things that you want information on? Now, there's several different kind of ways you can look at this as far as purchasing an e-bike. You're either going to want to purchase a bike that is fit your mobility, which I certainly think a 20-inch bike would come into better play for you on choice of bike. Or do you want to go out and just have fun on a 26-inch by 4-inch fat tire bike, where you can go off-road, you can ride on bike trails or road? Do you want something that's fast, which I don't prefer as a creator, especially because I'm promoting bike safety, certainly first and foremost for my seniors that follow me on my channel. And I want to thank all my subs that have subscribed to my channel and follow me along on these videos. I try to give as much information as I can to work and help you folks make good decisions when you decide to go ahead and purchase your first e-bike, or you just are going to purchase more e-bikes. We're going to talk about accessories a little bit. We'll talk about should you buy local, should you buy online. There's several different factors weigh into choices when it comes to e-bikes and what fits you best for your purchase. So when I talk about purchases of e-bike, let's talk about that right out of the gate, especially for folks that have never ridden an e-bike and they're just looking into getting into riding them. Because you're getting older. I'm 72 years old, so I ride probably 2,000 to 3,000 miles a year, and it's really changed who I am since I've retired a couple years ago. I can get out and enjoy riding. I can get out and enjoy nature. I meet a lot of really neat people when I'm riding. So, there's several factors that weigh into why people purchase e-bikes. Now, we can talk about purchasing an e-bike, especially from somebody that's local. If you purchase from somebody that's local, you're going to be able to take that bike back to get it worked on, whether it be a tune-up, adjustments, anything happens to the motor or electronics on the bike. You're going to be able to get more care, certainly, than you will online, because that bike shop's got a reputation to uphold, and they want to make sure that you're satisfied as a consumer. So anybody that's purchasing an e-bike for the first time, I'm certainly going to recommend find a local bike shop. You can test ride these bikes, and that way you can find what you're comfortable with, what fits you. And there's so many factors that can be involved on riding an e-bike, especially if you've never ridden one. And if you've not been able to get out and ride a bike since you're a kid, these things can change everything about us as seniors to get out and enjoy life instead of sitting on the couch or in a recliner and letting life just happen to you. I get out and stay busy and make things happen. So yeah, I think if you're going to purchase an e-bike, go to a local bike shop, ask plenty of questions. Tell them any disabilities you may have, anything that would keep you away from a bigger bike, a 26-inch bike. Most bike shops today have 20 and 26-inch bikes. They have step-throughs, they have mid-step-throughs, they got step-overs, which you almost have to cross your leg completely over the saddle to get on the bike. And there's so many new bikes coming out on the market now that it's hard for me and other creators to really keep up with the market now, because they're just I wouldn't say a glut of manufacturers, but there's certainly more on the scene now than there was, say, 2 years ago. Now, I personally have about 9 or 10 in my garage now, back behind this screen here that you'll see, or this backdrop. I have all my bikes, and I can still get both my vehicles in the garage, so that's pretty good. But yeah, I mean, there's several good brands out there, and I've seen budget bikes for $999 that I would highly recommend to somebody. I mean, if you want me to put links down in a following video on this, I will do that for you. But yeah, there's a lot of budget bikes that I give high marks for after riding them and testing them and hill climb test with them and range test on them. And there's a couple bikes out there that I think fits that bill for sure. And then if you're going to want to just get out and get off-road or, get out and ride on the road, you're going to want a bike that maybe can do up to 28 mile an hour because you want to kind of get in somewhat of the flow of the traffic. So I would say either a 20 or a 26, and you're going to want something that maybe goes to 28 mile per hour. Now, fortunately, in our city, we have a lot of bike lanes that they're creating, shall I say, on some main roads that I ride on now, and it's getting better every day as far as new bike lanes that are being installed. So we're way behind the curve over Europe in some of those countries because their whole infrastructure was basically built around bikes. They didn't have as much area and space that we have where we have, cars can just about go anywhere. Some countries, that's not possible. So that's where e-bikes have really filled that void for space as far as infrastructure. So, yeah, and I think if you're going to also look for a bike, you're going to want to look at some really important factors. Battery size is important. I tell people if you're going to buy an e-bike, you're basically buying a battery and the bike is free. Now, you can believe that or not, but I'm telling you, these batteries are not inexpensive. But they're coming down in price a little bit, I think, from a lot of the secondary battery manufacturers out there. But if you're going to purchase a good battery, make sure it's got good cells in it. There's usually the norm is 36 volt, 48 volt, 52 volt, and then there's also 60 volt that's I'm seeing on the market now. Make sure they got good cells in them, like Samsung, maybe LG, Panasonic. Those are three of your best battery cells. So make sure it's a good one. And don't just buy the cheapest thing on the market because trust me, you're going to regret it. So that's a little bit about batteries. You're going to want to try to find a bike that's got good hydraulic brakes on them. That's not critically important, but it's important to me when I'm reviewing these things. So you want a good bike. It's got hydraulic brakes. You're going to want front and rear suspension if you can find it on a bike. Primarily the front suspension for sure. Now you can buy suspension seat post for your saddle, so that's out there as well. But yeah, you want to look for a bike that you can sit on, and that's why I recommend going to a bike shop for people that are new into this game, because you can sit on that bike. You can see if the saddle is comfortable, and the first thing you're going to notice if you have not ridden a bike in a number of years. I don't care if you got padding in your bike shorts or whatever, you're going to feel it in your backside for 2 or 3 days until your butt gets used to that saddle. Because now I like the saddles are a little bit wider. So I'll take the bike saddles off of most of my bikes and I'll put on a bike seat that I particularly like called Blue Wind. I can put a link down in the description box for you for that seat. I highly recommend that one. It's a wide seat. It's very comfortable. And so that's something you want to look at. Make sure that you get good quality tires on a bike. Now, if you're going to get a bike, most of them come out with good quality tires, either CST, CRT, or Kenda. Then you've also got an entry level called Chow Yang. Now, I changed my bike's tires that had Chow Yang on them, and I put mostly Kenda tires or an aftermarket tire that's kind more like a motorcycle tire than it is a bike tire. Now, with that said, I also put flat out in every one of my tires, as soon as I get the bike in, if it's brand new, I'm going to take it out of the box and I'm going to put flat out in those tires before I even ride it. That helps prevent getting flat tires. So there's a couple things I'm going to do on a video, maybe the next video, on components that you need when you're on a bike ride, whether it be for stuff that you need to carry with you, battery operated pumps, stuff like that, stem removers so you can put the flat out in, tire gauges, patch kits. There's several things that I carry with me, bike levers. So I'll get a list of those things together for you folks. But then another thing you want to look for is, again, good quality brakes are very important. The hydraulic brakes, as I mentioned. And most bikes come either 160, 180 millimeter rotors. I typically like to change it out to the 180 millimeter rotors. They're a little thicker than the 160s, and it'll give you more stopping power, shall we say. So them are some of the things you want to look for. But bikes can typically run up to $3,000. That seems to be the norm, $950 to $3,000. Now, a sweet spot range, I think, is between $1,300 to $1,500 is going to be a fairly decent quality bike. Now, there are several bike manufacturers out there that I work with. Cyrusher is one that I review several of their bikes. They're a good company. They have some step-through models. They've got 26-inch fat tire bikes. So that's one company. There's several other companies out there, Blix, Rad. There's just a few, Juiced, and Electric. That company is really coming on the scene, and I hear Electric has really good customer service. So you're also going to want to check the reviews when you buy an e-bike. See what the reviews are telling you on customer service, because if you bought that bike and it was shipped from China, good luck trying to get support. It's almost impossible. And any other content creator, they're going to pretty much tell you the same thing. Now, you can take a bike to some bike shops and they will work on them, but primarily they really don't want to work on the electronics on a bike. So keep that in mind. So anyway, I just wanted to touch base a few things about bikes. Unfortunately, the bike manufacturers now are making much faster bikes, and that is not what we want to see as seniors. I don't want a faster bike. I want a bike that's got dependability. I want good components on it, and I want good customer service, and I want range on the bike. I want to see a bike that I can do longer rides. I've got one particular bike called an Anioki AQ177 that it'll get you 100 miles plus on one charge of the battery. I did 100 miles and still had 25% of the battery left in Pedal Assist 3. Now, you need to learn about what the pedal assist, torque sensors, cadence sensors. The difference between cadence and torque sensors, the cadence sensor usually is set in the display or the controller that once you get to a certain speed, that thing will pretty much take over at that wherever you have that set at on that bike. Now, typically 8 to 9 mile an hour in Pedal Assist 1 is good. Usually 10 to 12 mile an hour on Pedal Assist 2. And then when you get to about Pedal Assist 3, you're up around 14 to 15 mile an hour. And then Pedal Assist 4, you're probably closer to 20. And then Pedal Assist 5, it can be up to 28 mile an hour. Now, you got to remember, with the cadence sensor, once you get to Pedal Assist 3, beyond that, and you start pushing those pedals, you're going to ghost pedal, which means you're not keeping up with the pedals. That's the downside of a cadence sensor. With a torque sensor on a bike, which I highly recommend people that if you want better exercise, better leg workout, and burn more calories, look to getting you a torque sensor bike. They may cost you a little bit more, but you're going to be glad that you made that decision. With torque sensors, you have to put pressure into those pedals as you're pedaling. That tells that controller to put more power to the motor. And if you don't pedal as hard, you're not going to get that. So, and it's not that you're pedaling hard, but once you get up to be 15 to 18 mile an hour, you're not ghost pedaling either. You're still been able to work out and turn your pedals and get a better workout with a torque sensor bike than you are a cadence sensor. But anyway, that's all I want to touch on for today. I want to thank you guys for watching the video. Put anything down in the comments section that you would like to see. And then I'll check with some manufacturers. What are some of the questions you have about e-bikes as a senior? And then I'll see if I can get you some answers for that. And so, yeah, I want you guys to share, like, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notifications, and I will see you guys on the next video.